What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and I am joined by Eric Quintana, the man himself, the second person to get me out here. I don't like Blackbeard. I think the whole world knows that, but I know he came in with that spice and just a super unique top in terms of what we saw for Florida and Kissimmee Regional, so definitely wanted to have him on here. I know it's crazy because the last one did incredibly well, which I hate, but no one else I'd rather have to talk about Blackbeard. How did you finish at the Kissimmee Regional?
I ended officially 10th, but I lost in top 16. I did pretty well overall. Went X2 day one, lost my last round to get 19th place. Was pretty good looking over. Low key had a very Cinderella run type of bracket. I was prepared to face more Rayleighs and Zoros, but I didn't face as many as I thought I would. But
Got
felt good
it.
overall.
Speaking of that, what were your matchups both day one and day two of the regional?
So to start off, I faced an L. It was rough match. I mean, not that rough, but the new Russian L. I won that one, then played three Bonnies in a row, one of them being on stream. So that's what I mean by Cinderella,
I did.
bracket.
I did see you on round four. I saw you, I think, on the table.
Yeah, that was my third one. Then I played a Zoro. All these I've won.
Yeah.
I played a Zoro, won against that as well. Then I played a UP Luffy, was able to take that one down. And then I got my first loss against, funny enough, my fourth Bonnie. And then I rounded it up by beating a GP Luffy and then losing to Rayleigh, who ended up getting second place at the last round.
Got it. Yeah, he was pretty cracked, low key. I watched him and Alex play just back of like on the lunch break. They were just playing mirrors back and forth. Then Alex lost to him 2-0 in the top cut.
Top
As well, I
16.
think.
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunately, maybe he might have been 2-1, but I think it was 2-0. Anyways, with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump into the deck here. Real quick here, everyone, before we continue with the video, enjoy my website, but also just wanted to take a moment here to say thank you all so much. And if you could just do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed the content ever, check and see. We're on the road to 10,000. We're pretty much there, and just any little boost can help. It means a lot. Thank you.
All right. So, list is Blackbeard, the annoying control deck. Leader effects pretty simple. You get to discard a card and turn off on plays. He also can't run on play effects. A very good control deck, in my honest opinion, has like 50-50s against basically everything. Just hopefully you don't run into like GPs or your random red Luffys and that just run you over. We'll start with the hard soul of the deck. Full ed, four of them. The best card, well, not the best card, but the main engine. Every time I lost is because I didn't see this card within the first like 3 turns. So I had to play like on 8 Dawn or plus, and by then it's a little too late.
Yeah, it's just like Rage.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that because it's like we're like a combo deck essentially, where we want our pieces together, and then when we get those together, you can like control the board slowly and then use different cards to get back the resources you lose off of playing the first full ed. Now we'll just go into events. 3 Tempest Kick, the most efficient reducer in the game. And then 3 My Era Begins, Searcher.
Was there any
The
reason you didn't do like 4 and 2 of the Tempest Kick? Like why 3 and 3 like with the Era? Especially with a lot, I feel like a lot of people think Era's the best card, even though we're not prioritizing Burgess anymore.
So the problem with My Era is your turns are tight. So no, when you get to 10 Dawn turns or like 8 plus Dawn turns, you have the extra Dawn to use this. But on your 5 and 7 Dawn, you're almost always trying to do the same thing. So if you're playing this, you're pretty far behind. And the same idea can be said with Tempest Kick. It's if you either going second, which is usually not good because you want to usually go first. You don't have the extra Dawn to use Tempest Kick, or you don't have the extra Dawn to use My Era, so they're just stuck in your hands. So you just end up being pitches. I can understand going up to 4 My Era strictly because of the life trigger, but for now 3's just been enough. Because like your extra Dawn, you just want to use it on full ed, and then from there you want to go like usually something like Dock Q. You can go like Dock Q into my era. That's probably the last turn you can do it. It's like a Kuzan into 7 Teach into whatever. Usually 9 drops like Kuzan Burgess. The only reason I can play this deck in the Zoro meta, Black Vortex.
Busted.
This card is crazy. Gives minus 4k for the turn and negates the effect of whatever you use. So this is used against GP Luffy on their Luffy, basically on their 6-drop rush Luffy. So even if they do swing twice, it's usually not as big, usually like a 5k if they put 2 Dawn. On Zoro, if they attack a character first, because you usually want to get the value, you get to minus it, and now they don't get to untap, so they like basically wasted a turn. That's how I beat my Zoro player. He attacked 9 into a tapped Augur. And then I was able to Black Vortex it. It basically skipped his whole turn, and then I was able to like. It wasn't that the way I wanted because I had like a crazy board at the end of it, but it's one of the main conditions. And then the one of Black Hole. This is for Mirror, Yukimaru, and a blue purple Sanji if you like randomly see it. Now it got even better this next set or these next tournaments because Odin's coming out, and this can get rid of Odin. The blue Odin. But yeah, that's my
because it negates, right?
Yeah, it negates and then KOs a 4 or less. And it's not base 4 or less, so you can use this to combo. It is rude. So those are the events. Now we'll do some 2Ks. The best non I mean yeah, I'm actually the best 2K in the deck. This little blocker is crazy, man. 2K blocker and 1-drop. Insane work. The reason I don't feel like I need as many Tempest Kicks stronger. I use this guy a lot to minus people. I use it so often that I end up putting 1 Devon as like a 5th stronger. It's obviously worse, but having another 2K that can at least reduce 1, because a lot of times you're off by 1 on certain things. Like if you want to hit a 7 with 7-drop Teach with 1 Van Augur and 1 Katarina Devon, you hit a 7. With Van Augur and this, you can hit a 5 cost for Dock Q. So it's like 1 is actually funny enough, a good enough number that's worth putting in the 1.
And you're playing.
I don't know if I'd keep it in.
You're playing 9 total 2Ks, whereas before I think Teach was typically playing around 7 or 8.
Yeah, normally this is the 2K suite. In my list, I took out Laboon and put in one of the Devons and another card. But I'll have to reevaluate going into Nats. But for now, this is what my suite was. And it was pretty good. The 2K part came up a lot, especially with all the blue-purple Luffys running around. Like, actually having a 9 2K was pretty nice.
Got it.
And then the searcher of the deck, Lafette. 4 of this card's crazy. In the late game, when you just start moving their board, they end up most decks choose to just ignore your board and have to attack you to try and get games. And this is where Lafayette comes out and just gives like infinite advantage. Because now you have to choose between attacking Lafayette or attacking me. And if you attack this, it acts as a blocker, drew me a card, let me keep a life, and I just keep gaining and get like advantage through that way. Probably one of the more important cards of the deck, Dock Q. This is important for going first. This lets you KO their 4-drop on 5 Dawn. Lets you have a chance against Rayleigh, because if you didn't have this, I don't think you had a chance against Rayleigh at all. You know what it does. You all hate it. I hated it too when I played against it. So, like, it kills something on play, or like basically on play, and then when it dies, it draws you a card. It just doesn't seem fair.
It's unfair.
And it's not. It's not.
Every card in his deck is actually insane. Like, the ceiling of those if those cards were generic in any deck, they would just be like so strong.
Disgusting. It actually would be disgusting. Burgess, I only run 3. There's a lot of answers to it. For example, Zoro has Kuina, which can just tap it, so you can't really just leave it there. Then if you're defending this guy early, you're losing a bunch of cards and it becomes really hard. It's your best finisher, though. It's great against Bonnie and L, Shanks, anything that's not like... Actually, it's great against everything, but it needs to be in the later part of the game. And if it's in the later part of the game, we have ways to bring it back, because Kuzan's disgusting. Can't be KO'd, so it's just like the card. It's like if you aren't going the control build or the control route, where you're just everything they play just gets KO'd, you're usually going down the Burgess route, which is just have a bunch of big boys. You see me with the fat graveyard, and this becomes the 11K like that, and then just like how is this legal that you're playing a 4-drop 11k with a counter that can't be KO'd? Like,
Bro,
there's too
bro.
much
Me
on
and
this.
me and Quimby have crashed out about that a billion times.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. This card is actually ridiculous. And then 2 Shiryus. This is mostly for green and Rayleigh. For green, it's when you go second, and they go either Tashigi or I forgot the name. The old man, the 2-drop blocker.
Oh, Kushiro? No, it's not Kushiro.
Koshiro.
Hoshiro?
I think it is Koshiro.
Kushiro?
Whatever.
It's something like that. It's something like that.
It's for those cards because when they play those cards, we know we're gonna play Cavendish, they're gonna play Tashigi on the next turn. So we need to get rid of this, and then hopefully, if you had like this the turn before, then you can set up to where you can KO the Tashigi with the whatever cards you have left over. But this is usually for that. This is also one of the reasons why I think I need to put back Laboon, because if you go second against those matchups, it's really rough if they go that into like Cavendish into Hody. And the best way to answer is you go Shiryu into Dakyu Laboon. So we'll see if that's how the matchup changes. And then last for my 4-drops is San Juan. He's a blocker that basically gets around Grab Blade. I only have him at 1 here because I'm running another blocker. Actually, I could pull it out because it's fine to talk about them both. I'm also running 1 Katarine Devon blocker because this can't get rested by Kuina in the Zoro matchup. So I split up these two. So I have 1 of each. I don't know if I'll keep them in. I might just keep 1 going into Nats, but that's just something I'm gonna have to test. So yeah, these are your blockers that you can both be brought back. And then low key, the second Heart of the Soul behind Dakyu, Van Augur. Tap -3 on KO draw card. Don't know why they put the on KO draw card on this, but it is great. I always have a hand thanks to this. Yeah, and then we usually want to go, and then we'll talk about literally the best card, Kuzan.
Yeah.
I think we all know this card. This card can bring back anyone except for this guy from the graveyard back onto the board, and you get to draw a card, and it can't be removed by anything. It's beautiful.
Textbook.
And awful at the same time. Yeah, it's beautiful and awful at the same time. But yeah, ideally you want to go first. You go like first, you go stage. Into 3, you go this, a Dakyu into whatever, and then you go like leader effect Van Augur, Kuzan, bring back the Van Augur, kill your 4-drop. Now I have 2 guys on board that says if you KO me, I draw a card, and then we follow it up with the next turn of 7-drop Teach. This card's also ridiculous. It's not as flexible as the rest of the deck because, in my honest opinion, you only have like 1, maybe 2 turns to play it, and that's on the 7-Dawn turn and maybe the 9-Dawn turn. Even though I don't really recommend it past then because you have so many more plays you could do. But this card with this ends up. This is usually the final board I want to end on, where it's like double Van Augur, 1 Teach, and then basically anything you play for the rest of the game is getting KO'd. And because you don't have leader effects, you're probably not playing multiple things, and people get headaches around it, and I completely understand why. Also, it has this other ridiculous part of its effect where if it gets KO'd, I can add any black card back to my hand. So I've added, multiple times I've added Kuzan back, I've added 10-cost Teach back, and I've added Black Spiral back in the Black Vortex, exactly in the Zoro matchup. So it's kind of ridiculous. And then to wrap it all off, the boss monster himself, 2 10-drop Teach. I think 2 is enough. It's obviously searchable. It's really good into specific matchups, but if you're not seeing those matchups, it's probably the worst card in the deck. You just don't have the Dawn to be able to play this, or you don't really want to play it because you have like more efficient things you can do. You can draw like 4 cards. Like you can go like Kuzan, Lafette, leave a Vortex, or like Kuzan, Lafette, blocker. Like there's a bunch of things you can do, and most of the time you just don't want to be doing Teach, so you just pitch fodder. But the matchups he's good, he's great. You know. And that's it for the list, really.
Got it. Cool.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. Just kind of want to jump into some questions here. So I know previously that kind of the strategy for Teach was, like play blockers, stay alive, then spam 10-drop Teach. We, of course, in the structure deck got the new 7-cost Teach, but didn't seem to change too much there. now it seems that the build is more control focused, right? With the Van Augur being a huge minus, plus the Teach being able to either one add himself back if he needs to when he's removed, so he can play him again, or fetch any other piece you may need. How do you feel about that overall? Why do you think that like change kind of happened and like the direction towards going back more like control-y? Because Van Augur, Doc Q at one point, it feels like got just completely cut from the deck. What do you think brings them back, and like what in the meta do you think makes the control strategy better here?
Okay, so I didn't like Teach when it was all survive and drop the 10 drop and maybe play like a Burgess or two, because in honesty, it felt like you didn't have much control of the game. Now that we're more creature focused, it's not like we weren't creature focused back then.
You just played two Burgess and
yeah,
win.
yeah, you just play two Burgess. If they don't get outed, you were very far ahead. And even like with before the ban list, people were running multiple grab blades because Bello Betty was around, and grab blades really hurt that matchup of trying to just play Burgess and like try and get out of the way with multiple Teaches. So like the problem with this deck is Teach is really good if they only have one guy on board, but if they have multiple characters on board, if you took a lot early or if you countered early to find your pieces, if you either countered early so you have no cards in hand, or you took early so you have you have a good amount of cards in hand but you have no life, a lot of characters actually you could just start turning everything sideways, and it becomes hard for this deck to keep up until they get like the second Teach out or the third Teach out, and it got a lot scarier. Now green decks have answers to just the Teach. Like you can have like two Teaches on board.
What is it? Demon Aura, Nine Sword Style,
yes.
Blades Drawn, Dead Man's Game. That's the card.
Yes.
Yeah.
That card actually just solos this strategy, because say you play two Teach, use your whole 10 Dawn, they're like, cool, that was a really good thing you did. Tap both of them, swing 7/7, or like swing 9/9 at you, and you have low cards in hand, and it gets really rough to beat that. And to go further on that, Zoro, once you play the first Teach, they just need to swing 15 at you. Yeah. Or 12 at you for that case. And if you like take it and they untap and attack again, you have to guard the 12 anyway, because this blocker doesn't really matter because of their effects.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But going more towards a control build, you don't really need to play towards it. You can play towards you control the board, and then slowly, like, you could play your little blockers like San Juan, Kettering Devon, Kuzan to bring them back. And then use that as a value, because at the end of the day, this is a 6k attacker. These are two 6k attackers. This is an 8k attacker. You can close out games with this. If they decide to not put a guy on board and swing at you, you're like, that's completely fine with me. I'll turn these sideways and just hit you in the face. So that's usually how the games end up going. But for me, this like small ball version is much more my style. Instead of just trying to just play big boys, like, and hope your life's like one or two finger pistols or some like swingy effect. So this is feel like a more control, more like I can like try and like skill my opponent out, even though it's not the case every time.
Got it. And then so at what point are you kind of like no longer trying to control like the board or like keep them clear? At what point in games are you like pushing to close out? Is it just waiting until you can't live anymore, or like how are you setting up to finish out games then?
So I'm attacking every turn my leader for the most part, so it's getting cards out or taking life depending on how our opponent played. But usually after I get this set up, the double augur Teach, or even just 1/1, I'll usually try and go into like Kuzan, Burgess. If I have the cards and the matchup isn't bad for him, I'll just start playing Teaches. So if they only have one guy, I'll like if I can kill it with the combo, I'll kill it with the combo, play a Teach, and use this as a blocker, because this will essentially negate their leader swing every turn. And now they're in a rough spot where like they have to put all 15 Dawn on their leader to hope I just don't block 2/2. Or I'll just take it if I have a life. And if they do anything less than 12, I just get a free block. So it usually comes down to one of the two boss monsters of Kuzan, which like replenishes the hand, plays Burgess, which is usually like a 12k at that point, or just actually playing the 12k 10 drop teach. And then slowly, because if you ever don't attack me, or if you don't ever play a guy, these guys get in, and then it gets scary. That's why sometimes I'm afraid of Luna, because like these are all lower than sevens or whatever, and that's usually the only way people can like get out of these sticky situations.
Got it. And then, so I think the biggest thing that a lot of people are conversing about right now is Rayleigh. I've played a couple teach and I felt still pretty good overall into it with Rayleigh. How do you feel about the Rayleigh matchup, and like what's like your key to winning there?
So the key to beating Rayleigh is to assume you don't have these cards in your deck and just discard them for the most part. This card could maybe be played once, but you're literally just playing small ball. You're going Dock Qs, you're going Shiryus all day trying to clear their board, and once you establish a big enough board, you just really need to try and protect your life. Because if you can stay at like 2 cards, if they have like 1 or 2 bodies, you can just start cycling blockers and forcing them to have to use is it observation? No.
No, it's to never doubt to get
To never
unblockable.
doubt. Yes, yeah, to give them Jambe. Yeah. So then they have to start doing that to try and KO you. And then another card that's actually really good in that matchup exactly is Black Vortex. Because giving minus 4,000 for 1 card is very good late game. Early game, this card's really pretty bad because it's too expensive. But late game, when you start having a board, and then it comes down to, oh, they're gonna try and do 15k at you. Can I guard out of it? Having a 4k in 1 card is really important.
Got it. And then I don't remember, but did you play any Rayleighs in the tournament?
I played one. I played them in the final round.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you got second.
It
You
was
lost that one?
close. Yeah, unfortunately, I lost that one. The main thing is I didn't really get to play a Dock Q until my 8 Dawn turn. So I wasn't able to stop his board from assembly up. But even then, it came down to he had a 16k swing, or like I leader affected him like the whole game, so he wasn't able to search. So I just had to hope he didn't have the Jambe. Sorry, I can't remember its actual name.
No, you're good. You're good.
So it came down to I had a blocker, I had lethal next turn, and I had 14k in guard, give or take, and I needed him to not have Jambe, and he had it. And he went for it, and he got it, and he deserved it because he played the matchup really well.
Yeah, he's really good. I think he might actually be doing a video with me later. But to that point, when do you start using your leader ability against Rayleigh, and at what point do you potentially stop to save cards?
I used it the whole game.
The whole game. So like even
whole game.
So like you're going second, you're going to use the ability.
Yes. So we can actually just play out the scenario. So say they go like turn 1 buggy, search, pass. My ideal turn 1 would be play Dock Q, KO the buggy, and then a leader effect. And then their next turn is to be like either they'll play 3 guys, swing into Dock Q, so that saves me a life and a draw card, or they'll swing at me, play 3 guys, and then I go Dock Q, KO 1, play Shiryu, KO another one if it's like the 3-drop Sanji or whatever, and leader effect again. So you start going low on cards, but the way you get the cards back is with Kuzan. So ideally at that point, then you start going like Lafette into trying to find pieces, because then they need to attack Lafette. If they don't attack Lafette, then you get to draw cards every turn. And then it becomes a real question of, okay, well, I can't kill everything, because if I start killing the Dock Qs and stuff, I'm giving him cards, and if I give him cards, then he can continuously use the effect. Or I attack him, and I use the cards from life to, use leader effect, and then they're also not gaining cards because they can't search off of their little guys. They can't play a guy off of Luffy, so they're playing very fair. It just costs me a card every turn. So you just start playing with like a low hand size, and then later on, Kuzan will get you cards back. Lafette gives you cards back. When they finally kill Dock Q or Van Augur, they get cards back.
Got it. And then with that in mind, right, have you ever like did a Kuzan just to get Dock Q back? Is he that crucial in the matchup?
Yes. Yep, I will do it in that matchup. I've done it in other matchups too, where I just didn't have a popper, but I had the reducers. But it doesn't happen often. But when it happens, you just do it because it's obviously just the best play at that point.
Got it. And then, so with all of this being said, what do you think is Teach's best matchup right now?
Best matchup that's like viable?
Yeah.
Probably Bonnie, but I say that, but it is not like people say there's 80-20 or like 90-10 matchups. I don't believe that.
You think
That matchup is like I think it's like 60-40, 60-40, maybe worse if I go second. Because Bonnie's curve, if they go first against me, can be very annoying unless I see exactly every card I need.
So
Say it again.
I said carrot.
Yeah, carry. I mean, if they go like turn one, whatever, like turn one pass into turn two Tashigi into turn three carry into turn four Hody, like that's how I lost to the Bonnie player. And I made the misplay of not KOing the carry, and I KO'd the Hody. And looking back on it, if I KO'd the carry, I would have had a much better chance of winning. I don't know if I'm guaranteed to win, but it would have been much better. But that matchup is not as free as people say. Same thing with Shanks. Like Shanks is another one of those like easier matchups, but like if I stumble at any point, I can just lose. And if they stumble, like just like in general, like there's no like free matchups, but this deck's really, it does have some quote unquote polarizing matchups though, where like you feel like you're ahead. If your opponent sees their outs, then they have a chance to get in the game, and then it just becomes like who plays better at that point.
And then with that said, what do you think is your worst matchup?
Probably GP Luffy. The one I played against, oh my god, that was so stressful. I swear. Like I had a good start, but so did he. So like I ended up going first because he chose second after winning the die roll. I leader effect every turn from turn one, and he still went Sanji Pudding, 6-drop Luffy, and I barely was able to clear everything as he played it. Like it was rough because I even started like stage on turn one, Docu turn two into Kuzan Van Auger, and he just kept clearing everything. What really got me was there was a clutch turn where I had 4 looks to find a black hole. Granted, I've already been through like 18, 20 cards in my deck already, but I needed a black hole in that turn. And I went Kuzan, Sack, Van Auger, and I got the black hole with that plus a stage. So I was able to kill a 7-drop Sanji Pudding, and then from there he just had to keep leader affecting, and he just went low on Dawn. And then even then it came down to whether I had 1k in life, because my hand at the last point he swung 3 7s. My hand was 2-2-1. And I had 1 life, and he swung 7. I took, and it was a 2k. So it was a pretty good thing about this deck. There's not that many bricks.
Yeah.
So that's also very nice.
Yeah, got it. And then with that in mind, and you talk about worst matchups, I know a lot of people like the Zoro players are like they want to see Teach. You know, they're like, bring me a Teach. How do you feel about the Zoro matchup, and how are you winning that?
So it's usually the control strategy where you get this out. Actually, you don't even really need the second one. It's usually just these 2 out. And then you get to clear their 5-drops. So they're really relying on their leader to win. And when they start relying on their leader to win, Black Vortex is really strong because I can close the game out in like 1 to 2 turns with like Burgess, or like even just these guys on board. I swing a turn with all of them, because they didn't play a guy and started to attack me, and I just go like double blocker with Caribou, and then they swing at me. I block. Say they only swing 9. I can block with Devon, Black Vortex their leader, and then now I get to keep Devon, which becomes a double striker. Pretty good if they're like guarding aggressively early, and then I just have the rest of my board, and then they have to use like their event to untap it. So usually in those spots you want to end up in like when they just decide to stop playing characters, because if they don't play characters, they're swinging big at you. But if they play characters, they're not swinging big at you because you're leader affecting. Pretty much after when they get to 5 Dawn plus. So they don't really get to cheat like with Tashigi. They don't get to like add 3 extra Dawn, or with Mihawk they don't get to untap the 4 Dawn. So then they're just swinging like 5 and 6s at you, which are like, I mean, it's annoying because you have to give them a card each time. But if you're getting cards back with Kuzan, getting cards back with Van Auger when they're swinging at it, you end up coming back to a spot where you can get quite a few cards. And then like same thing with Lafette. If you have Lafette on board, they have to usually end up swinging to that. So it ends up like becoming like a grind game. And then the main thing is when you're playing against them and you play a blocker, you really want to leave up 3 Dawn if possible, because if they use 2 Dawn to get rid of Black Vortex, that means you have a blocker. So at the very least, well, if you have 2 blockers, ideally it's just 2 blockers, you can stop both their swings if you're at 0 life. But at some point, like you just start leaving up like 6 Dawn. You're just like, okay. Or like 5 Dawn. Just you put like 1 on, like 3 on a couple characters, and then you're just like, okay. You need double Ashura style, and if you do that, you'll have like 2 Dawn left. So I'm not scared of like 2 Dawn on your leader. So that's usually the case.
Got it. So it's really just like grind game. We want to maximize our value, but you also take away the value from them, right? Like, so they're not Tishibi getting 3 free Dawn, so it actually costs them 5, and it's not as good. And
Yes.
it's potentially like, you know, they want to establish like maybe Cavendish, because then they'll actually get an ability to some degree. And then of course Mihawk being an 8 cost 8k is terrible. And then so you really just want to set yourself up to be able to do those pokes, keep the vortex for the end game, and keep their board clear through like Vanog or Teach and Doc.
Yeah, and then some so like the Zoro player I played against, he played Yukimaru on 4. No, I'm sorry, on 5 into double Luna. So those are scary matchups, but like usually when they're doing that, they're usually ignoring. Those are also games where Burgess becomes really big, because Burgess puts a lot of pressure solo. So it lets you keep the Dawn up for Vortex, where you could just play the blockers afterwards. So like it just really depends on how your Zoro opponent plays, on how you play, because like it's fine, it's all cool and all when you have like this on board. But if your opponent from the very beginning decides to never play a guy, you don't really need to go for this. Like you need to keep this just in case they do play something. But from that point on, you can just go like Kuzan into Burgess and just have both of these up, and then from there work from how to like more efficiently KO your opponent.
Got it. Cool. And then so just kind of wrap things up here. How do you also feel about blue purple? Like, with it, of course, being, you know, everybody's saying 50 whatever percent win rate, but it also was so much of the top. How do we feel about that?
So, I think it all depends on the blue purples list. A lot of them aren't running Grab Blade. A lot of them are only running 2 8-drop Luffy. Those 2 are the most important cards, I think, in the matchup. If they see them, the matchup becomes pretty hard. If I stumble, the matchup becomes pretty hard. But funny enough, they also kind of get stunned by this, because they only have 9 cost characters. And
It's a perfect 9 right there.
Yeah, this just hits 9. And if you leader ability them, they're only playing, most of the time, they're just playing guys that just have to stay there for a turn. And it takes their whole turn to play them. And then you could just KO one. You just KO it, and then you can start building up your Burgess. You can start dropping 10 drops and stuff of that nature. But if they get to play like multiple 8-drop Luffy's turn by turn, they can bounce Burgess back. They can beat you up. They can attack your board, and it becomes harder to keep doing it later on. So it's a balance of what they see, what you see. I know I lost to Holden 2-0. I did stumble both games. No Johns though. He still won my butt. But I don't think it was as bad as it seemed. But Holden convinced otherwise. I'll test more. I think one of the things in this matchup I need to add is Laboon, because if they do clear the board, Laboon's one of the best ways to like be able to kill them back, or KO their characters back. So we still have more testing. We still got like, I don't know, 2 weeks till Nats. We don't know if UP did show up very well for week 1, but I don't think anyone had that on their map. So now with it on the map, let's see how it does throughout these couple of weeks. We can either use like online tournaments or like sim stats, and we'll see how it ends up going. But I still think it's a pretty good deck to take. It's kind of complicated. It's not complicated in like the sequencing. It's more complicated, like you really have to plan out your turns for a couple, because like, no ego or anything, but like you mess up a turn, God, it feels like this deck can never come back if you mess up like a turn badly enough. But overall, I think this deck's fun. Not for the person playing against it, but for the person playing it.
Yeah, yeah. Just like Nami, right? They're like, it's so much
Yeah.
fun.
Well, to be fair, I'd rather play against this than Nami. I can't stand Nami, but I understand how good the deck was. I respect Nami, but I just can't stand that deck. And I understand people feel the same way with this one too.
We're players.
It just,
dude. We want to play the game. At least to some degree, you still play the
Yes.
game against Teach.
Yeah, well, like a lot of times, like at least against Nami, I get my on play effects. Like I can do what my deck wants to do. It might not be good against them, but like this one, you're just like, dude, I didn't come here to play pre-release with like 50 vanillas in my deck. Come on, they're not even well statted enough for it. But yeah,
Too funny.
I understand.
Cool.
I understand the hate, but I like it a lot. So
Yeah, and just to get you out of here, what are you looking for in your mulligans? Like, what is a typical, like, because, you know, we talk about the Van Augur strat, we talk about Doc Q, like, obviously, you know, the importance of full lead. What are we looking for?
okay, so if I have full lead in my hand, low key, I will debate on keeping it. Just with just this card, I will debate on keeping it. If my hand is this, I will not keep it.
Yeah.
But you know, you could shuffle any 5 cards in here, and there's a high chance I'll keep it. But let's just go like quote unquote perfect. We'll have this, 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 these 5, or any combination of 2 plus the full lead, even 1 plus the full lead, and like if you had like a 2K or a couple 1Ks, because this is a very much a curve out deck in the first 3 turns. Because you want to go turn 1 full lead, you want to go turn 2 Doc Q, ideally not using it, and then you ideally want to go turn 3 Kuzan, bring back Van Augur, kill their 4 Dom play, and then Teach to kill their 5 Dom play. This is ideally the curve you do every time. It's not going to happen every time. That's just how card games are. So you'll supplement it with other cards, like maybe they just play a 3-drop, you can play Shiryu. Maybe you drew really poorly, so you just play a Burgess. Maybe you just shuffle you dig through your deck 4 times. So you just go like Lafette, My Era. So you just like dig for the next turn. Maybe you just play Kuzan, pass, and hope to God your next 4 cards or 5 cards gets you the Van Augur. There's a lot of times where I just played a Kuzan on 5 and I'm just like, please, please. I have looked through 15 cards so far. Please give me a Van Augur in this next like 4 cards or something like that.
That was me today with Luffy. I literally 20 cards deep. I ain't seeing them. I'm like, please.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to everyone. Everyone's got those complaints. Just like, dude, I went X amount of cards deep. This is ridiculous. I mean, green, purple, Luffy. You're just like, where's my Sanji pudding? I did double Nami, Zoro, Jiro, 5 events. Please show up. You're literally the heart and soul of the deck. And it just, you know, happens sometimes.
No, what? I get it. Now, I guess to kind of round things off, what is like the most questionable hand you've kept? Like, what is like, because like we kind of talk about like perfect and like what would be like the most questionable hand that you're like sitting there and you're like, I'm probably still gonna keep this.
I think I had a hand like this in the tournaments once.
Did it work out?
Yes, mostly because I had full lead.
Yeah. I mean, it literally finds everything you need. So.
Yeah, because it lets you filter out. But the reason this is questionable is because, as you can see, if they start swinging 5s at me, I am taken.
Yeah.
Ideally, you can guard first ones against certain matchups. Certain other matchups, you can take it. I'm usually conservative with my life, so I usually guard early, especially if I already have the pieces I need. I'm assuming that was a question you were about to ask.
Oh, you know, you're good. I was gonna say, do you guard early against Rayleigh?
Yes. So in a lot of spots, I like to guard when it only costs me 1 card. If it costs me 1 card and I'm not looking for a piece, I guess I should be more specific. Because if I'm missing a piece, finding that piece is more important than keeping the life. But if I have the pieces already, keeping the life becomes important because a lot of times, you'll get to a point where they're only swinging at you once unless they're running rushers because you're clearing the board.
Yeah.
So if they're only swinging at you once and you have 3 life, that means you have 4 turns basically in the clear. And at that point, you can start building up a board, and it just becomes really hard. Like in the Bonnie matchups I played on stream, you saw a lot of times I was at 3 life. They might have had 3 guys on board, but me having 3 life, and then I end up getting like a 10-drop Teach. That stunned one. I killed another one of their guys, and now Teach can block another one. That's 3 characters that can't attack me. I'm only taking 1 life a turn. Even if they play a Hody in this spot, I probably cannot lose. So that comes up way more than you think.
Got it. Cool. Well, I appreciate your time so much and you sharing everything here with everyone today. Feel free. Do you have any shout outs, anything you would like to plug?
You can follow me on my Twitter or X, QuintOPTCG. Shout out to my boys that I practice with. It's actually the Canada boys. One of us, even though they weren't playing TH, did really well. Richard, he ended up getting second with Zoro. That list was a brainchild of actually basically the whole Discord. They're clutch. You know, Card Ape, my boys here in the Valley where I'm from in Texas. Holden for whooping my cheeks in top 16. He ended up getting top 8. All my friends, Sock won the tournament.
Sock's a
Good
goat,
stuff,
dude.
my
I
boy.
knew he was. The moment Top Cut started, I knew he was winning. I told him, I was like, I was going to tweet out before I got on my flight at 11 a.m. that Sock was winning because it had been so gassed when he did. And then, but I was like, I didn't want to jinx it.
No, it was funny. He was telling we were talking before, and he's like, dude, if we play, I got your number. I know what you're gonna do because you're good, so you're gonna be so readable. And I was like offended and proud at the same time. But yeah, everyone that I met back in Florida, everyone who tested me here and where I'm at, Canada boys, anyone in general. Thank you for having me on.
Dude, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. My boy.
Yeah, I'm just hoping soon I can get back to streaming. Right now I've had some computer problems. That's the reason I haven't been streaming. So we're just hoping all that, clears up soon. I can't wait to see everyone back again in Dallas for Card Fest. I'm hoping to win it this year. I got 5th twice. Well, not 5th. I got top 32 twice. I got 5th last Dallas and then 32 in Orlando. I'm hoping to actually get top 2. I really want to go to Japan, represent the U.S. But besides that, I think that's about it.
You'll have to settle for second because I'm winning. But I wish
I'll take second, man. I'll take second. I'll go to Japan if I get second.
But no, appreciate it. Well, you have a great rest of your night, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.